So, good afternoon and happy Sunday. It is Sunday. It's everyone's favourite day of the week, isn't it? To be honest with you, those early morning lie-ins, you tend to have the family around, you can chill out and normally have something like a roast dinner. Unfortunately, I don't have a roast dinner tonight. Mum isn't doing us a roast dinner, but I do fancy a roasting of some sort today. So I thought I'd get ChatGPT, because I haven't done a ChatGPT sort of fragrance video for a while. I thought I'd get them to roast me a little bit today. So essentially what I've done is I've picked out 5 fragrances, 5 popular ones, that I actually really like and really enjoy. I've owned all of them more than once, and hopefully they're ones that you've owned before. And I'm going to get ChatGPT to roast me on how bad they are and why they're terrible. And I've told them to be as rude as they can be. So I'll read the message out in a minute of what I've said to them. What I'm going to do though before that is I'm going to do a sort of minute or so of just sort of selling the fragrance. I've got 5 fragrances. I'll do one at a time, and I'm going to give you just a sort of minute of why I like them, why I've bought them, why I've worn them so many times, and yeah, we'll just see what sort of ChatGPT comes back at me with. And then later on, we'll just look at some of the online reviews, those negative ones about these fragrances, because I don't find a lot of faults with them. So I want to see what people have said online, and we'll use ChatGPT to find them for me, and we'll read them out at the end. So yeah, let's get on with it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the first fragrance, and we're going to start with Bentley for Men Intense, a very popular boozy fragrance. So just so you can see what I said, hi, I'm going to give you 5 of my favourite fragrances, and I want you to roast me on why they're terrible. Be as rude as you want. Does that make sense? They've got back to me crystal clear. Drop the 5 fragrances, I'll roast you like you walked into a Sephora wearing a blindfold. This is going to be fun. Okay, so let's give a quick spray of Bentley for Men Intense. So why do I like Bentley for Men Intense? This just is classy. This is a really, really lovely scent. I love boozy notes, and I believe it's got a rum note in this, and these sweet woods in the background. It just smells like someone who's really important. You could imagine someone in a suit wearing this, James Bond wearing this, and I have to say, everyone kind of knows it in the fragrance community, but beyond that, a lot of people don't know it. This just gets compliments. This is one of the best winter scents. One thing I absolutely love about it is good value for money, is where you get a 100ml bottle. It's never really changed too much in price. It tends to be between £20 and £30, and it, compared to some of the other fragrances you get in that price range, this just smells absolute quality. It's just classy. I think a lot of people can put it off, whether you're sort of mid-20s to sort of 60, 70 years old. It just pleases so many people, and I just think it goes beyond, those generic caramel scents. It's lovely, it's classy, and yeah, I could wear it all year, to be honest with you. Not in this maybe high heat weather, but a summer evening, I'd still pull it off. Date night, interviews, said you're an executive in a big company, love it. I think sandalwood's in it as well, but it's that boozy note that makes it so classy. You don't get that in a lot of cheap fragrances, so that is why I like Bentley for Men Intense. Time for a roasting. So Bentley for Men Intense, I want you to roast me on why it's so terrible.
All right, Bentley for Men Intense, huh? Well, it's like you're trying to smell like a luxury car that just drove through a forest fire. It's got that heavy, almost overwhelming vibe that makes you wonder if you're wearing a fragrance or a scented candle. But hey, if you want to make a bold statement, I guess it does the job.
I disagree, but thank you for that roasting. So before we go on to the next one, I think they were quite nice to me there. Actually, I don't think it smells like I don't think you smell like a scented candle, do you? To be honest, if anyone's had this fragrance, it definitely doesn't smell like that. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the online negative reviews. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT, Bentley for Men Intense, what negative reviews are there for it online? So let's see what they say. I'll read them out. Okay, so I'm going to read some of these from different websites. So one's from Base Notes, one's from Fragrantica, one's from Amazon, and yeah, I'll just read out what people online have said. So the first one, smells like cheap incense sticks you buy at a discount store. Definitely not what I expected for a luxury fragrance. Second one, Fragrantica. The opening hits you like a cough syrup overdose. I had to wash it off after an hour. Tell you what, if they think that smells like cough syrup, I want that cough syrup if I'm ill. And if they don't want the fragrance, I'll have it. So this one was from Amazon. Feels synthetic and almost like a candle fragrance. I think that's maybe where ChatGPT might have got their review from. Doesn't last long and turns sour on my skin. This does last long. It's not beast mode, but it will last you all day in cold weather. No way. My wife can't stand this on me. Says it smells like an old man's cologne from the 70s. Don't think that's a bad thing, is it? Well, maybe. I don't think it smells old at all. I think there's a real nice sweetness with the woods in it that actually makes it very wearable. But anyway, too heavy and overpowering for daily wear. Perfect for winter if you want to clear a room. Rubbish. I've had people actually come up and sniff me and say you smell very nice. So yeah, maybe they don't know the right people, to be honest with you, or maybe they're just in the wrong setting. Maybe they're in the gym or something where it's certainly not a gym fragrance. But yeah, I disagree with that. But yeah, it's funny, isn't it? How someone says it barely lasts, doesn't last long, and then the last one says it lasts, it's too overpowering, too heavy. You can't please everyone. Anyway, time to go on to the next fragrance. We're going to go on to Aramis, so another old one, apparently. I think we know what they might say here. Okay, so Aramis. So this is a big 240 ml bottle. And that's the first thing I want to say. Aramis has been around now for nearly 60 years. It came out in 1966 and it's still a real gem today. It's still being sold. I like the fact you get 240 ml bottles and you get 110 ml bottles. They're the size, so you get a bit of extra juice. And it tends to be around £20 for that 110 ml size as well. Now, this is slightly different. Obviously, this is an old school fragrance, definitely. But I love it. There's a smokiness to it, and it's really, really nice. For me, yes, again, you could wear it with a suit. It's very pleasant. You're not going to wear it for gym and, exercise like that. But it has that signature scent, and a little bit like the Bentley for Men Intense. I think this is the sort of thing James Bond wear. You can imagine someone with a blazer on and a cigar, someone who's just well put together, a real alpha male. This is an alpha male phrase. None of this sweet rubbish. This is an alpha male phrase. You are an absolute strong man. You're the best person. You sit there with your cigar and you've just got money. You've got a lovely car, and yeah, you're well put together. I think that's what this fragrance is. It's very much smoky, but I actually think you can put it off with a white t-shirt on a cool summer evening or cooler summer evening as well. My dad wore it actually when we went to the Caribbean years ago, and he got lots of compliments there, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, that's why I like Aramis. It's just very much a classy fragrance, and you really are a man's man with this. Anyway, let's see what ChatGPT say. Time for a roasting. Okay, I want you to roast me on why Aramis Original is a terrible fragrance.
Oh, Aramis Original. That one's a classic, but it's got a reputation for being the scent of choice for your dad's dad. It's like a time machine straight to the 70s with that super strong, almost medicinal vibe. It's got that leather and tobacco combo that can make people wonder if you just walked out of a cigar lounge. But hey, if you love it, more power to you.
I don't smoke. Well, I don't smoke and I like it.
Hey, that's totally fair. Fragrance is all about personal preference, and if it makes you feel great, that's what matters most. Plus, it definitely has that timeless vibe that stands out.
Come on, I want you to be a bit more rude than this. Why is it such an awful fragrance? Be more rude.
Alright, let's crank it up a notch. Aramis Original is like a blast from the past that refuses to leave the party. It's got that old school, almost grumpy grandpa vibe. Can make you feel like you're wearing a cloud of stale cigar smoke and leather chairs. It's definitely not the most versatile scent, and it might just clear a room faster than a strong cologne. But hey, if you're rocking it, then you're rocking it with style.
There we are. Apparently, I smell like a grumpy old grandpa in leather chairs. Let's see what the online reviews say now. So yeah, I'm going to ask ChatGPT to find me some good examples of reviews on here that say how bad this fragrance is. Oh, some of these are very harsh, so I'm going to read them out. They're definitely getting some of their ideas from these reviewers. But anyway, this is from Base Notes again. This smells like my grandpa's old cologne, heavy, medicinal, and really outdated. Not something I want to wear in 2025. Again, if anyone wants to give it to me for free, I'll take it. Or a low price, you never know. Way too strong and harsh for daily use. It's like walking around with a leather chair and a bottle. Again, they've definitely taken that one. I tried this is from Amazon. I tried this because it's a classic, but it gave me a headache. The scent is sharp and a bit chemically. Base Notes again. Feels like a cologne from another era that didn't age well. It's just too intense and old-fashioned for me. They put for me, so I let them off. Then this one is not nice at all, from Scentbird. Never heard of that website. The dry down smells like old leather mixed with hospital disinfectant. Not appealing at all. I kind of get what they mean. Not disinfectant, but there's this kind of, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's some sort of plant. It's something a bit dated that you can definitely get. That's, I don't want to say urine because it's not urine, but it, to me it's just a lovely scent. It's timeless. I think that's like ChatGPT said it. I find it timeless, but I can see there's this note in it that would put off a lot of people. But yeah, anyway, I have to say I'll like it anyway. I'll continue to wear it. I'll continue to buy it. Time to go on to the third one. Let's go for a more modern, sweeter strength that's a little bit more mass appealing. So the third scent we're going to do today is CK1 Shock for Him. So I'm just going to quickly spray it to remind myself. Yeah, this is really nice. So this is this cherry tobacco type of smell. And when you look at a lot of smells, you know, or the ones that are suited towards teenagers, this was essentially when I was younger, a teenager scent, Calvin Klein CK1 Shot. Big 200ml bottle, which I like first of all. But yeah, it's got this nice vanilla sort of undertones to it. But it's not like those caramel fragrances you get today. I believe there's like a Red Bull note I've seen in this before, like an energy drink note as well. But yeah, it's very much the tobacco that makes this really pleasant. This is playful. This isn't one, it's not that you couldn't dress it up, but this is one that, again, I would probably go if I'm going out for a party or a night out with friends. Absolutely fine on the town, something like that. Not really that sort of formal wear, but that makes it really appealing for a younger person. Again, it's got this complexity about it that's just better than most fragrances. It's not linear at all in its scent. But if you like those sort of sweet tobacco fragrances, I don't think there's many better than this. And I don't think there's any fragrance out there, maybe someone can tell me, that smells like this. And that uniqueness and the fact it's still mass pleasing makes it a winner for me, and it just takes me back to my childhood. So that's why I like CK1 Shot. You can get it for around sort of £22, £23 for a 200ml bottle. I think that's better than a lot of those caramel scents out there today. But it's time for a roasting. Okay, CK1 Shot for him. I want you to roast me and be as rude as you can be.
Oh, CK1 Shock for Him, the fragrance that basically screams, I peaked in high school. It's got that overly sweet, almost sugary scent that makes you feel like you're wearing a candy store in a bottle. It's the kind of fragrance that's
Nice.
trying way too hard to be edgy and often ends up smelling more
That's me.
like a teenage rebellion than a sophisticated scent. But hey, if you want to relive your teenage days, it's definitely got you covered.
Maybe I do.
Absolutely. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Fragrances are always a fun topic, and it's all in good humor. If you have any more on your list or anything else I can help with, just let me know.
Is that the best you've got?
Oh, I can definitely dial it up if you'd like. CK1 Shock for Him is like the fragrance equivalent of a one hit wonder from the early 2000s. Fun for a moment, and you realize it's a bit too much and kind of fades into the background. It's got that sweet, almost juvenile vibe that might make you wonder if it's a fragrance or a dessert. But hey, if it works for you,
I
then
like
that's
all
okay.
ones. So yeah, apparently it's a one-hit wonder fragrance, and it also fades in the background. It's got that sweet juvenile vibe. It is a little bit juvenile. Maybe, yeah, maybe I'm getting a bit too old for it. You know, I'm getting to 30, so maybe they are saying you need to grow up a little bit. But then I suppose with Aramis, I probably need to go down. So haven't maybe found the best fragrances for me yet. I disagree though. It doesn't smell like a dessert. But if it does, then I'm happy with it. Dessert fragrances or those gourmand notes are very mass pleasing. Let's be honest, we've been talking about caramel notes and vanilla notes and all that before, and that's what people want. So yeah, if that's as rude as she wants to get on that one, that's fine by me. What do the people online say though? Okay, let's read some out. So base notes again. This fragrance gave me a headache after 20 minutes. Way too synthetic and overpowering. Yeah, it is synthetic. I'll be honest, it is synthetic, but I don't think it's really harsh synthetic. It never stings my nose, and I certainly haven't ever had a headache from it, to be honest. But maybe other people do. You know, it's all personal preference. Smells very juvenile, like a teenager's cologne. I agree. I agree. Not something for mature wearers. Yeah, to be honest, I don't imagine my dad wearing it. Sorry, I'm calling my dad old there, and yeah, maybe I am getting a bit too old. I'm approaching my 30s now. I blind bought this expecting something unique, but it just smells like a generic sweet scent I smelled 100 times. Well, you shouldn't be blind buying anything if you wanted something unique. Blind buying unique fragrances, you can waste a lot of money. Anyway, this one, the amber note is way too strong and synthetic. It kills any other nuance the fragrance might have had. I think it's the tobacco note, but okay. Not a fan. It feels like they tried to make an edgy scent but ended up with something that smells like candy. I think it is sort of meant to be a little bit edgy. It is a little bit more daring. It does have that candy juvenile vibe and it is synthetic. So maybe these people are right, but just because it does that mean it's bad? Does a synthetic sort of candy scent always mean it has to be a bad thing? For me, it doesn't. And I personally don't think this is generic. I really don't. I don't think this is generic like they said on Reddit. So, yeah, anyone who had this fragrance or, likes it, doesn't like it, yeah, feel free to comment on that. I think it's quite unique in its scent compared to what you get today. So, yeah, anyway, I think they all have got valid points. And let's be honest, my opinion is certainly no more valid than theirs. On to the fourth one. Okay, so we're ramping the price up a little bit here. Aqua de Parma Colonia Pura. This is a great scent. Aqua de Parma, in my opinion, does the best citrus scents, and their Colonia line is fantastic. And this is a really good one. This is an icy citrus, and the reason I bought it again in this big sort of 200 ml bottle size or 180 ml bottle size, because it reminds me of a training course I did with work once, and everyone loved it. We couldn't wash our clothes for 2 weeks because the laundrette wasn't open, and this is the one I wore, and I said it's icy lemon smell. It's a unisex fragrance. I think it needs more masking because there's kind of this like peppery sort of vibe to it. I don't know if it's a vetiver sort of note as well in the background. But yeah, this just is classy. And all the Colonia line from Acta Palma is, so whether that Colonia Intensa, Ascenza, which is my favourite of them. I like Colonia Club, which is more of a green fragrance. But yeah, this just, to me, sort of screams young dad who's, yeah, just doing well for himself. He has a great office job. You know, this could be a signature scent that you wear anywhere. You could put it off at the gym, you certainly put it off in the summer. And I think that iciness makes it a little bit more versatile in the winter than other sort of citrus fragrances. It's not synthetic at all. So they said CK1 shot was synthetic a minute ago. This isn't. This screams, well, it does, it screams class, sophistication. And yeah, I just think it's that sort of fragrance that a younger person could pull off, an older person could pull off. And either way, it's gonna work. It's gonna work in most situations, and yeah, you're going to smell better than everyone else in the room. So that's why I like Aqua de Parma Colonia Pura. Time for a roasting. Aqua de Parma Colonia Pura. Be as rude as you can be. I want you to roast me as badly as you can.
Oh, Aqua di Parma Colonia Pura, the fragrance that tries to be fresh and sophisticated, but ends up feeling like a watered down lemon soda. It's the kind of scent that's so safe and inoffensive that it's almost forgettable. It's like they took a classic cologne and stripped away all the personality, leaving you with something that smells like a generic spa. It's perfect if you want to smell like absolutely nothing in particular. But hey, if that's your vibe, then it definitely does the job.
Ouch. Oh, do you know, I think that's their most evil one yet. So I'm just going to read a little bit of what they said again. It's like they took a classic cologne and stripped away all the personality, leaving you with something that smells like a generic spa. It's perfect if you want to smell like absolutely nothing in particular. That's harsh. I think that's a really, really harsh one. Oh, now safe and inoffensive, I do agree with them. It is quite safe and inoffensive, and I do kind of, now they say it, I do kind of understand what they mean by a watered down lemon soda. But it's, to me, it's just an icy soda sort of smell more than watered down, I suppose. But oh, that's really harsh. Yes, it doesn't push out the boundaries in terms of, being really daring or really complex and really unique. But citrus fragrances don't. But this just smells, to me, in my opinion, a really, really high quality citrus fragrance, not synthetic at all. But yeah, I can see why someone, if they're paying that sort of price, might go, this is a little bit generic, and maybe want a little bit more for their bang for their buck, let's say. So yeah, that's hard. But anyway, it's all opinion at the end of the day, as they said. Let's have a look at what some of the online reviews say from genuine people. So, base notes. I found this to be very generic and boring. Smells like a watered down lemon cleaner. Again, if this is your lemon cleaner, tell me where to get it, because I'd buy that and smell very nice in the house. Not much depth or personality at all. No, it is quite light and airy in that sense, I agree, but it is an eau de cologne, so maybe that's why. The scent is light and fades quickly. On me, it lasted barely 3 hours, which is disappointing for the price. Again, I understand that, but I think you probably need to just understand an eau de cologne isn't as strong. Um, and yeah, you're paying more for the quality of the scent in terms of how natural it is, in my opinion, but I do kind of, I understand that. I do appreciate that. I expected more from Aqua de Palma, but this just smelled soapy and a bit plasticky. Definitely not worth the hype. I get no plasticky. I just don't agree with that. I just don't think it is plasticky. Cologne Pure just doesn't have the charm of the original Cologne. Feels like a cheap knockoff with poor projection. I got quite a few compliments walking with it last night with my brother. He noticed it. So you maybe just need to spray a little bit more at times as well, which, I know with expensive fragrances, you don't really want to do that. And yeah, maybe if you use the original cologne, it's a little bit more youthful and maybe hasn't quite got the same classiness. So, okay. And then the last one from Scentbird. It's alright if you want something safe, but honestly, it's too safe and forgettable. Doesn't stand out in any way. See, I think it stands out. If you had a room of people and you all wore citrus scents and you were the one that had this, I think you'd be in the top three. So there was 100 people and you had this on, I think you would. But again, it's all opinion, and I can see where they're all coming from. As I said, maybe it's the price, maybe it's the performance that kind of leads to people's opinions on that. But I think it's classy, and I think for me, because it's given me a scent memory of a time when I went to do this training course and I was away for 2 weeks, and I said it essentially kept my clothes smelling nice for 2 weeks when we didn't have anywhere to clean them. So yeah, sometimes it's just the scent memory which gives you that extra opinion. But there we are. Right, last fragrance we're going to do, probably my most complimented one as well, so be interested to see what they say. I'm sure you've all tried this one before. Last fragrance we're going to do today is the original Terre Hermes Eau de Toilette. Now, this has got me so many compliments over the year, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't like this fragrance initially. When I first smelled it, my dad had it, didn't like it, but I thought, let's give it a try. A couple of years later, after I'd smelled more fragrances over the years, I thought, let's give it a try. And honestly, I wore it to plenty of places at work, and people would always ask me, what is this? I've had people at the gym say, what is that? It's really nice. I've had a lady who actually said, oh, my husband's had that before and I loved it. And she started to talk to me all the time about fragrances. And she said, oh, I bought my husband it again. And yeah, she basically got back into fragrances again after smelling this. And I said, people messaging me from work saying, what was that? I want to buy it. And yeah, it's great. And the reason I love Hermes in general, not just this one, is they bring this sort of nature vibe to things. They tend to be citrus heavy rather than sweet fragrances. Makes you feel like you're being outdoors in nature, very much. This one's like a dirty orange, so there's pepper sort of in it, black pepper and orange, and it just has that earthy vibe to it, a really nice rindy citrus, and it's so suitable for all occasion. This one lasts really well. I've had compliments 6-7 hours later in hot weather from this, and you can wear it in the summer, you can wear it dressed up, you can wear it in the winter, you wear it whenever. This is a signature scent. This will do everything. And there's a reason why this has been cloned so many times. And I'll be honest with you, I don't notice many people wearing this, but anyone in their 20s again could pull this off absolutely fine to anyone in their 60s, 70s. This does so many jobs. It's classy, but it's also versatile enough that I think you could wear it anywhere and it's never going to be a bad fragrance. But I'm sure some people don't like it. So it's time for a roasting. Last one, Hermes Terre de Hermes. Why is that fragrance a bad fragrance? I want you to be as rude as you can be.
All right, let's dive into the world of Terre de Hermes. This fragrance is often hailed as a masterpiece, but let's be real, it can come across as a bit too serious and earthy, like you just rolled in a pile of dirt and decided to bottle it up. It's got that rugged, woody vibe that might make you feel like you're trying too hard to be a sophisticated lumberjack. If you prefer something light and fresh, this might feel a bit too intense and honestly a little too serious. But hey, if you like smelling like a forest, then it's perfect for you.
Is that the best you've got?
I'll take that as a challenge. Terre de Hermes is definitely a beloved fragrance, but if we're going for the roast, we can say it's the type of scent that makes you feel like you're wearing a cologne designed for the most serious, no nonsense type of person. It can be a bit too much of a grown up scent, almost like it's trying to channel a wise old sage instead of just being fun. But hey, if you enjoy it, that's what counts.
Oh, so that was quite harsh, wasn't it? So they said that it smells like you've rolled in a pile of dirt and decided to bottle it up. Well, I think there's a nice orangey scent. It's definitely earthy, like she said, but there is an orange sort of scent to it that makes it certainly not smell like you're rolled in dirt. But there is a sort of smokiness. There is a smokiness to it, and I do kind of. sophisticated lumberjack. It is an outdoorsy scent, but I really like it, and I just do. It doesn't smell like a forest to me. I think when you talk about forest, to me that's sort of piney rather than sort of those rindy citrus scents. But yeah, sophisticated, I think, in a good way, and it's definitely more grown up. It's definitely a level up, and it's not synthetic or anything like that, which they didn't mention. I believe it is a masterpiece. And again, if anyone has had this fragrance, yeah, comment below. Tell me your opinions on it, and tell me maybe what your cons are to it if you don't particularly like it. So, anyway, let's have a look what the online reviews say. Let's see which ones are the most negative. Okay, so time to read the reviews. So, flinty minerally. Is that word? Minerally? That's a hard word to say. Woody and vegetal, but very synthetic smelling and just smells off to me. It smells unfinished and unfortunate. I do get a bit of a metallic vibe to it, actually. I do kind of agree with that. And a sort of, I suppose, vegetal. Yeah, it is a little bit. As I said, it's kind of, Hermes fragrances do take you out into nature, but to me, it certainly doesn't smell synthetic. It just smells classy to me, if anything. Anyway, just a harmless, boring citrus fragrance. This is from Base Notes. Light and simple. A nice little citrus thing. Nothing really special or unique, and definitely not a masterpiece. Don't know what to say, really. I think it is unique. I mean, obviously now it's been cloned a million times as well, but I don't smell anything being made like that anymore. Maybe that's because it's becoming dated. Who knows? Maybe they're right in that sense. But anyway, I can barely smell it, even with my nose pressed up against my skin where I sprayed. Did they change the formulation, or was it just a bad bottle? Just a bad bottle. This is a good performer. It doesn't really project, but the longevity on it I find amazing. That will still smell on my arm now till I go to bed tonight in about 8 hours' time. So it's not a bad scent, but the citrus notes and vetiver are very present. A bit too strong for me, but a nice autumn scent if you're into that. That's when I think it would do best, in the autumn. And that smokiness we said about is definitely the vetiver. It's that smoky sort of, is it dry vetivers? Vetivers can come in different forms. It can be quite nice and clean at times and soapy like Tom Ford Grey vetiver, but the fragrance became a barely there skin scent within 20 minutes, both on paper and on skin. Rubbish. Rubbish. They've just not got the right fragrance, honestly. There we go then. So they are the reviews for the Hermes. I'm not put off by it. I'm still going to wear it anyway. So yeah, there we are. So I'm a little bit full up from all these roasts now, so I certainly don't want any more roasts today. But I mean, I've picked 5 of my favourite fragrances, and I'm sure some of you have tried these ones before. But really, the sort of moral of this, and obviously I do fragrance reviews on this channel, is just to kind of say, look, fragrances are subjective. We all have our opinions, and sometimes you can actually, I agree with some of those negative things, but that doesn't affect me. I still like those fragrances. I can understand where they're coming from, but I have my opinion. And when I do my fragrance reviews, I kind of obviously give my opinion, but I want to try and generalise it to what I think most people would like. But even then, I may be wrong. And if you ever do try some of the ones I've recommended, I completely understand if you disagree with me. But of course, that's the beauty of fragrances. That's probably why a lot of us like them, because we all have different opinions. We all suit different smells, whether we're male, female, whether we dress up or we do fitness workouts, whatever we like. It's all subjective. There's not such a thing as a good or a bad fragrance. It's just what you like, and I think that's really important to emphasize as well. Don't let anyone sort of sway your opinion too much. It's always best, if you're not sure, to just try something first, whether that's in a shop if you can, or if it's really cheap and you just want to blind buy it, then do that. But I love it. I love the different opinions on it, and it's never going to really change my opinion. I love Hermes. I love Bentley for Men Intense. I don't care if they're popular or unpopular or whatever. It doesn't mean it's going to affect my opinion. And hopefully, you can share some of yours. I'd love to hear some comments of phrases you really like, because I'd love to try them as well. And that's the best bit about it. It's all subjective, and I'm sure there's plenty out there. There's so many phrases out there that I'd love to try, and I'm sure I'll keep trying them as well. So hopefully you'll be able to watch some of those videos that I'll do. I've got a couple more I want to buy in the near future as well. So we'll do some more fitness fragrance reviews. There'll definitely be one next week as well. There'll be more than one, let's be honest. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one today. Slightly different video, and yeah, I'll catch you later.